It's a pleasure to get things started. Good afternoon. My name is Eric Harmon, and I am publisher and president for Cincy, Northern Kentucky, and new this year, Dayton Magazines. We are so excited and thankful for all of you that have taken time out of your busy schedules. And we all know why we're here. It's to give recognition and celebrate the accomplishments of these 11 outstanding, amazing women that you'll see here today. So I appreciate your round of applause. And I got to give you all some credit. This is the 8th year of our program, and this is the first time that I didn't have to ask for applause. So thank you so much. We chose the Athenas as our first event for the magazine because we felt that it was needed here in Greater Cincinnati. And by your attendance here today, it really proves this, so thank you. This is also one of these events that I most enjoy because the program itself has taken on a life outside of our magazine. And as you'll hear this afternoon of all the women that are participating, it is just so much fun for us to participate. So at this time, I'd like to give some of the organizations some credit that made this all happen. They are more than just monetary sponsors. They really do play an active role with this event. And with that, I would like to thank Stockyards Bank and Trust as our sponsor. Another sponsor includes Great Oaks Career Campuses. Thank you, Dr. Another sponsor includes the law firm of Keating, Muthing, and Kleekamp. We also have some community partners which help promote the event and also know many of you here in this room. One, to give some recognition also to the eWoman Network. Thank you, Amy. Also, you see several people from the room here from the Westchester Liberty Chamber Alliance. They have a program every year in November, the Women of Excellence program. Thank you. Our table sponsors include Gateway Community and Technical College and Cedar Village Retirement Community and UBS Financial Services. Thank you for your participation. So new this year, you saw that we had several booths. And a part of this was from Jenna Toon, our marketing director for the magazine. Many of you have come in contact with her. She really does an excellent job orchestrating this event. Amy Scalia from Cincy Chic. There she is. She's a dynamo. She's also orchestrated this, and many of you that are participating the first time, we're excited to see you. So as a part of this, if you noticed, if you picked up your registration, you went around to talk to different booth providers. So we have a couple gifts for a couple of you that are winners. And so our first gift is a performance at the Nutcracker, Cincinnati Ballet, and also included with that a $100 gift card from Tony's of Cincinnati. And the winner is Kira Sanders. Kira, are you here? You can come and get it. Well, congratulations, Kira. Now, we also have something else, that we have a packet of business books. Do all you all like to read books on business? I myself, I like books. Obviously, I'm a print guy, but I also love to listen to books on tape. And now it's become, obviously, on your iPads and things like that. But I'm always excited to see someone that still likes the book. And thank you, Laura. Laura's been so kind. And by the way, this all packet of business books is given to us from Decorating Den. This also includes a gift certificate for the winner as well for Decorating Den. And the winner is Lynn Engel, United Way. Congratulations, Lynn. Now, we also, if you've been to this award program before, we've been privileged to have a former Athena finalist, Donna Salyers of Fabulous Furs. She's donated a coat for this program, and she also expresses her condolences. She couldn't make it here today, but the coat did. We have Megan Casey, who's showing you the coat here. Megan's an intern for the magazine. I'll give her credit. When we asked who should do this, of course, we look at all our staff at the magazine. They do all this stuff all the time. She was like, I'm there. So thank you, Megan. Look at that. Okay. So we will have a winner here today. And we'll show you this. And if you like it, take it. If you think that you want another size, another kind of coat, we'll just make sure you get with Donna for that. Oh, I'll tell you what, this is so deserving. Cheryl Saylor. Congratulations. So that is your coat. Okay. Yeah. Now, last but not least, I would like to thank the staff here at the Cintas Center. They're sitting outside. They've already served your meal, but it's something that I've found working at different events that they do an excellent job. You might not know they also have students that participate with their AV program, and it's fun to see them getting together and their teamwork. So thank you for all you do at the Cintas Center. Let's give them a round of applause. It's a pleasure to introduce this afternoon's Master of Ceremonies and our MC, and Cherie Palello. There you go. You're getting applause and you haven't come up yet. Cherie has been the MC for this program basically every year but one. Not basically, she has been. And to give her an excuse, she was on maternity leave the year that she missed. And was it like a week after your pregnancy or after your delivery? Yeah. So we gave her credit for 1 year. Afterwards, she's come every year. I love this a part of her bio because she says that she was bitten by the journalism bug. And for us in magazines, we do consider ourselves journalists. And what we have to do is learn from the other journalists that are producing the news to get our stories. So we say, they're the what and we're the why. Well, we like more what. And Cherie is one of those that if you saw at the elections last year, she was participating and talking to these different elected officials. And I really learned a lot. So I did. And I thought there were some hard questions there, which I appreciated. She attended Northern Kentucky University, and after graduating, she worked as a crime reporter in South Bend, Dayton, and Charlotte before joining WLWT in 2002 as a general assignment reporter. In 2004, while on maternity leave, which may have been this one, for her first of 3 sons, she was asked to become the weekend news anchor. And a few months later, she moved to the 5 p.m. Monday through Friday anchor slot. So I got to give her credit too. I've just seen this and realized only 2 months and they moved you to anchor. I'm not good. Hey, I trust that. She said she's that good. And I know that we see her every night. It's a pleasure. So one thing that she says is that what hasn't changed in her career is her passion for journalism. She's also passionate about kids, animals, and giving back. Please join me in welcoming Cherie Palello.
Eric, thank you so much. You always do such a great job introducing me, and I'm so honored to be here. And I love that Eric, every year, is just so kind. He stands up here on this box that they put up here for me, and doesn't ever complain, nothing. So thank you, Eric. Thank you all for being here today. How are you doing? I know people are starting to eat. That's great. Round of applause if this is your first time being here with us today. If it's your very first time, oh, I love that. Well, welcome. Welcome to the 8th Annual ATHENA Awards. And as Eric said, I have missed only one time, and I remember when the ATHENA Awards started. I think it was up in Sharonville at that time, and it was a little bit smaller, and it's great to see that this event has grown to what it is here today, and that we continue to see people come back year after year, and that the nominations just get better, bigger and better. Listen, the reason that I do love this event, and I often say this is the best part of my job. I was a crime reporter for a long, long time, and a lot of times the people I work with now say, weren't you a crime reporter? Now you're kind of the kid, animal, elderly advocate in our newsroom. And I am. I love those stories. But I love people's stories, and that's what this room is filled with today. You know, I got to thinking as I was driving home last night about our awards tonight and what I was going to say to you, and I immediately thought of the top of our newscast. Top 3 stories last night. First one was a food recall, a pet food treat recall where dogs and cats had been dying. Third story was a robbery, someone's home broken into. Third story was a sex abuse story. And unfortunately, that is so often what we talk about on the news. It wasn't until as I was looking through our rundown about 13 minutes into the show where I could actually smile. But to me, what I always say to the people that I work with, because they will say, you're going to another charity event? What are you doing now? This is what my community, the community I grew up in, is all about. Good people doing great things. These 11 women that we're featuring here today are inspiring to all of us, whether you're a working woman, a working mom. You know, I often think, here I am, I'm raising 3 kids, trying to be a wife, trying to go to work, and these women make me look lazy. All of you women out here who we're honoring here today, take it a step further, that you help complete strangers, people you don't know. You see a need in our community, and you truly are changing lives. So that's why I'm here today, and always so honored to be here with you and celebrating these women. Okay, so let's get to it. We are celebrating the accomplishments of 11 exceptional women. These finalists are role models, trailblazers, and mentors for the young female leaders of tomorrow. Speaking of young female leaders of tomorrow, it is also my pleasure today to say that we have some young ladies here in attendance with us. So we'd like to thank the ATHENA committee members. We have Chantel Thomas as well as Sue LaChapelle for helping Cincy Magazine invite students from Woodward High School. So if you would you ladies stand up for us? You young women, stand up. We love that you're already joining us and getting involved in your community. I can see a few of you out there. Thank you guys so much for being here today. For those of you who are just learning about ATHENA International, I would like to share with you just a little bit of background information. ATHENA International is a global, nonprofit organization dedicated to creating leadership opportunities for women. The ATHENA Award program seeks to achieve a representative balance of leadership by honoring individuals who have achieved the highest level of business and professional excellence, who have actively served their communities, and most importantly, have assisted women in reaching their full potential. So before we bring out our keynote speaker for you this afternoon, I know you guys are hungry, and the staff here at the Cintas Center is ready to serve you. So let's let you enjoy your lunch, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. So please continue to enjoy your lunch, but I am going to ask you to quiet down because I want to introduce to you and welcome Dr. Robin White, President and CEO of Great Oaks and a 2008 ATHENA finalist. Please give her a warm welcome.
Well, good afternoon, and thanks, Cherie. And I just want to give a shout out to the folks from Great Oaks. Hey, guys. At this time, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, Laura Brunner. Laura's career has included public accounting, consulting, real estate, and regional development. She has an extensive history of community involvement, including serving as a commissioner of the Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority. She has served on the boards of Downtown Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati Real Estate, Mercantile Library, Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park, Christ Hospital School of Nursing, Beach Acres Foundation, and Leadership Cincinnati alumni. She is the past president of the boards of the Cincinnati Ballet and the Dan Beer Council for the Boy Scouts of America. In 2011, she was named CEO of the Port of Greater Cincinnati Development Authority and is responsible for leadership of its county-wide redevelopment and revitalization activities. She has worked in partnership with the City of Cincinnati, Hamilton County, and other economic development and community organizations. She is the recipient of numerous awards for business leadership, community development, and for her support of economic inclusion initiatives. She is a 1980 cum laude graduate of Indiana University's Kelley School of Business. Please give a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Laura Brunner.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here with all of you today. It's wonderful to be a keynote speaker, and this ATHENA Award celebration is very special for all of us. As a testament to the very small world that Cincinnati is, my very first boss from 1982 when I moved to Cincinnati is here, who happens to be the husband of one of our award nominees today. So, Tom, I know you'll keep an eye on me. I also see people that I've worked with at least two of my previous employers. So I've had enough jobs that I get to cross over many different organizations. So if you're one of the award nominees, congratulations to you, and please savor the recognition that you're receiving here today. Having courage in one's career is very much a theme that I return to time and again when I speak. The steps that we climb in our careers, and along the way, how risk, failure, and opportunities to lead present themselves, sometimes in surprising ways. My hope is that you will recognize these opportunities and step up and take the challenge. I know our honorees have. I'm happy to address a group of predominantly working women in particular. You are all Athena goddesses in some way. Thank you to the men in the room as well for your encouragement of all of these strong women. I'm going to share with you today the journey that I have taken through my career, my community engagement, my passion for inclusion, and how all of those have ultimately intertwined. I will also share some of my own observations and advice for other women as you move through your own journey. Some of you are early in your career, and whether you know it or not, will leave the workforce. Maybe some of your peers already have. A few years ago, before Sheryl Sandberg leaned in, I began drafting my own book entitled, Where Have All the Women Gone? You see, when I graduated from IU in 1980, more than half the accounting majors were women. There were equal opportunities, equal pay, and equal optimism for our futures. All of my friends worked, most in professional positions. Now, in my 50s, I look around and I see very few women my age in the workforce, at least in positions that are reflective of staying in the game and continuing to step it up the past 33 years. Of my childhood friends, the only one that kept working never had children. Now, as my peers face an empty nest or divorce, some have gone back to work, but they are at entry-level positions, making a fraction of what they could have earned. I've had to work hard to find new friends who are professionals. Too many women have stepped out, not up. I look at careers as having three phases. The first, the entry level in your career, where gender matters little and there are equal opportunities. Work hard, be valuable, and earn the money and promotions. When you jump ahead to the third chapter, the executive phase, I think there are actually advantages in being a woman and even a minority. There is growing awareness, although I'm frustrated that it's not growing fast enough, that diversity of all sorts is good. I know I have received opportunities, good ones, because I'm a woman, rather than in spite of it or blind to it. But it's in that second phase, the mid-career phase, that trips up most women. At the very time when we move into management positions in our 30s, when the stakes are higher and the job is harder, that many of us have children. It is an incredibly difficult task to raise a family and move up the corporate ladder at the same time. I know, I did it. I think this challenge, the pressure at work, the strain at home, is what causes so many women to leave the workforce. It is just too hard. But are the pressures external or internal? Is it pressure from bosses and husbands and children, or is it coming from ourselves internally? Are women leaving the workforce simply because of guilt? Listen, I had my share of guilt. We all do. Guilt is understandable, but it is not productive. What troubles me more is that I believe we see women who sidestep a career challenge or risk because of the fear of failure. The work-family tension might actually be a cover. Women are afraid to take the next step up, take the promotion, move into unfamiliar territory, take risk. The goal is to step up, not out of the game, when you hit that second, more complicated phase of your career. And by stepping up, you'll stay on track to achieve both success and significance. We all start out in our careers in a technical role, doing something, and women tend to be pretty good at doing what we're told. But when we are offered the chance to manage, to decide, to risk, we sometimes get weak in the knees. Rather than run the risk of failure, we would rather just step aside. I've been listening to Malcolm Gladwell's new book, David and Goliath, this week, and in it he talks about the characteristic of disagreeableness. He references a common personality test called the 5-factor model, and how leaders and innovators in particular tend to have a unique scoring. Quite obviously, they are curious, inventive, but they are also predominantly disagreeable. In his definition, disagreeable focuses on social risks, standing up for yourself, for your passion, and having a willingness to face criticism. This intrigued me, so I did a little research and found a study from Notre Dame where data showed being agreeable was not an advantageous trait in the workplace. It doesn't pay, it doesn't help you get ahead. However, what they found interesting was that for men, the trait of disagreeableness led to higher earnings, whereas for women, the trait of disagreeableness led to, well, let's say a reputation, not more money. So the researchers concluded that for women, it is the way you communicate what you demand that matters. As women, we have to watch how we are disagreeable. So don't shy away from negotiation. If anything, make sure you're heard. Just do it calmly. Now, most of you here today are stepping up to the challenge, obviously, maybe even being disagreeable along with me. Good for you. You are stepping up, and in the case of our honorees today, being acknowledged for it. Along with staying in the game, let's be okay with risks and failures. After 15 years of accounting and 7 years consulting, I leapt from my own safety net and started a consulting practice with 2 other women. Although we succeeded in many ways, we failed to make our initial financial projections. My optimism got the best of me, and we spent more than we should. This was not a huge public failure, but it was certainly a failure. But I recovered and stepped up to the next challenge of my career, and my 2 partners continue in their practice and somehow are more successful without me than they were with me. When you make that leap into phase 2, you should play an active role of designing your own career. You need to figure out what you want next and how to get there. Is it more education, a degree, a professional conference? Whose support is critical for you to get the next promotion? And more importantly, do you like what you do? Many people have jobs rather than careers. We get paid for jobs. We live for careers. Honest assessments of who we are, what our goals are, and the elements of our personality are really important at this time as you make these choices. For me, it took 15 years to realize I was in completely the wrong field. Being restless in my accounting career, I look back and realize that the way I cope with it was through volunteer work. I joined the Junior League right out of college, and I started an active volunteer commitment from the very beginning of my career. I did committee work through my 20s and served on a couple of small boards, and was then accepted into Leadership Cincinnati when I was 31. Things took off for me then. I was lucky enough to join the board of the Cincinnati Ballet and became president within 2 years. The time I spent there was invaluable in my personal development, and as a bonus, I made many friends. Looking back, the 20 or more hours a week that I spent there made up for the boredom that I had in my own work. I've had a very fulfilling civic career since that time, serving on the boards you heard mentioned earlier. And it's also been through volunteering and civic involvement that I discovered my passion for inclusion and diversity. During Leadership Cincinnati Diversity Weekend, I heard intimate stories from African American friends who were racially profiled, routinely hassled, denied opportunities, and harassed. It was at that moment I realized that I really wanted to make a difference in this area. I think it called out to me because while I often felt like an outsider, I could fit in. I was able to overcome the fact that I did not grow up in a country club environment and I had other disadvantages as a child. But I learned that minorities often remain on the outside even when they come from the right side of the tracks. I can coast through the doors of clubs and associations where they are closely scrutinized. So the simple injustice of that motivated me. Working to break down racial barriers in business and promote social justice has been a defining theme for me since then. Colleagues and friends were shocked to hear when I accepted the position as managing principal at Colliers, Charlie Martin Tucker, which is a commercial real estate brokerage firm, in 2005. Partly because it was such a big deal for a woman to be in a leadership role in real estate in 2005, and partly just because I was making a change. People saw risk. I was really surprised that for both men and women, the reaction I got was that at the ripe old age of 46, it was hard to imagine making a significant career change. And yet here I was, going into a leadership position at a firm of mostly white males who were new to female peers, let alone a female boss. The significance of this change sunk in shortly after I took the position at a company-wide conference. The day's sessions were over, and it was during the cocktail hour that discussions started about where everyone was going for dinner. Groups were breaking off and heading in different directions. A leading top broker said to me, "Aren't you going with them?" pointing to a group of women that were leaving at that time. That's who my wife would go with. I looked at him horrified and said, "I am not like your wife. I want to be with the most powerful people in the room, and where are they?" And he kind of looked around and said, "Well, they're right here." I said, "Well, that's who I'll have dinner with tonight." He was absolutely flabbergasted that we didn't separate by gender that night. It was a big eye-opening moment for both of us, and yes, I had dinner with the men. But that moment broke a barrier. It started to build trust. Taking on even the most extreme personalities in the firm, I slowly changed their attitudes, and we ultimately earned mutual respect. My position at CTMT represented for me my step up into the third phase of my career. I enjoyed success there and was able to start putting together my personal passions and skills and network. 4 years later came another opportunity to step it up, and I took the lead as executive vice president at a regional real estate development firm. There, I was involved in projects and felt that I had a more substantive role. At Al Nair, we accomplished projects that I'm really very proud of, both personally and professionally. Again, I came in with a vision to make an impact on inclusion, and that came ultimately in the form of the Vernon Manor project. With Vernon Manor, we led a change to engage minority investors. We made investment presentations to 40 African Americans who had the capacity to make an investment of that size. It took trust building and overcoming suspicions and some education about what we're actually asking them to do before they would even listen to us. As we would sit at the table and run down the last page of the financial projections, where all of the parties involved in a transaction of this nature and their different kinds of compensation were disclosed, that I would stop and tell them, we're here for two reasons. One is I hope you invest in this project, but the other reason is I want your kids. I want your children and your nieces and nephews and friends, children, to get involved in this industry that is so remarkably not diverse. And the project itself, the investment in Vernon Manor, we were successful in putting together a majority ownership of that project by minority investors. And despite a significant financial risk that was taken by them, it's been a great success. And I want to put a finer point on this. Commercial real estate is a very white place to be. And it is ultimately where a significant part of our country's wealth is created. And so I really believe that's something that we all need to be working closely and carefully to broaden the base of investment in high-quality investment real estate so that we can really get to the core of economic inclusion, where the big money is, not just the jobs and the contracts, but I think we should be going after the opportunity to make investments, differences in the places where the major financial investments are made. So the Vernon Manor project had another payoff as well. I was recognized by the Cincinnati Human Relations Committee with the Merlin Pope Diversity Leadership Award. It had meant more to me than any other award I've received because it recognized that I might actually be moving the needle on the inclusion front. But the best part was the email I received from my son the next day after that award ceremony. He wrote, "Seeing you speak was so special to me because it showed me how respected you are by so many people, and on a personal level, I was incredibly proud to be your son. You have set the bar really high for any woman I could ever marry." So that's what we work for. I'll tell him that's the only applause I got was for his quote. To the ATHENA honorees here today, you may feel like after you win some major awards from peers, you've made it and you can relax a little bit. Really? Well, actually, for me, the challenges were just beginning. Almost 2 years ago, I joined the Port of Greater Cincinnati Development Authority as president and CEO. Yes, I got this job partly because of all the years of being in the trenches. All of that hard-won insight and experience has led me to this piece-of-cake job. My first job in the public sector, my first paid job in public service, with a job description that would frankly make many weak in the knees. A job description that wasn't really adequately shared with me ahead of time. That's because it's the Port Authority's job to help bring new prosperity and opportunity to our city and county by fixing parts of what is broken. You see, for decades now, urban areas have become less dense, less diverse, and more impoverished through some bad policy decisions that were made nationally, compounded by some unfortunate demographic changes that have been divisive. Yet, what we've realized is that healthy, vibrant cities are the key to our nation's future. The fact that urban areas are full of people means that people have to interact more with each other, and that results in ideas that turn into innovation that fuels our economy. In the United States, metropolitan areas contain 84% of our population and 91% of our GDP. I joined the Port Authority in December 2011 and now joke that with such a big job ahead, I could have spent the first couple of years just planning. Life would have been so simple. But I decided to take risk early on with the support of an immensely talented staff, some of whom are here with us today, the women part. We are going for it. In just under 2 years, we've announced bold plans for increasing freight transportation, for redeveloping disinvested sites, and for taking blight out of neighborhoods, and for increasing diversity through every part of our business and insisting on diverse teams for all of our partners. Oh, and yes, for bringing new technology and professional management to the city public parking system. It's great work. It's so easy. Very honestly, I would not have gotten my current position if I did not have such success and passion within civic service. In fact, it might have played a bigger role than my professional career. I think I have found my path to significance. Mine has included taking risks, accepting failures, and using my leadership abilities to leverage both professional and personal opportunities. I've been able to craft a life that is fulfilling, exhilarating, and challenging. It's not easy, and I know I still have plenty of hurdles ahead, but I believe the rewards are worth the risks. I hope that you do as well. As I've mentioned a few times, it is difficult to be all in your career if you're in the wrong one. I think many of us, men and women, end up being pulled along through a career, whether it is the right one or not, rather than shaping one that is fulfilling to us. I hesitate to say this, but leadership is not for everyone. I think for each of us, the goal should be to understand and achieve our highest potential. And that starts with understanding ourselves. I leave you with these things you can do today to help every one of us in this room step up. To today's honorees, continue to do what you're doing. Lead the way, set the pace. Mentor, you are one, whether you acknowledge it or not. To the young women in the audience today, you're at the starting line just by being here. Take a moment to step up and introduce yourselves to one of today's honorees or someone at your table. We are approachable, we won't bite, and we started out just like you. To the friends, supporters, and colleagues of today's honorees, thank you. Give yourselves a pat on the back for supporting the strong, disagreeable women in your lives. You've helped these women achieve. Now I would like each one of you to take a moment to envision what you will do next in your career. I hope that you'll step up and find the intersection of your skills and your passion. Thank you very much.
You wouldn't see me without it, okay? Laura, wonderful speech. Thank you so much for your words and inspiration. I'm going to use the word disagreeable a lot in my house, I think. Just being disagreeable. And I do, it was funny as you were talking, it's so right on point. And I thought of a young girl, one of my very best producers at our station, who just had her first baby about 4 months ago, who just last week was talking to me about stepping out already. So I think I'm going to refer your book to her. So after receiving many, many nominations, our judges went through the difficult deliberation to choose 11 finalists to be here with us today. This year's Athena finalists were judged on the following criteria: demonstrating excellence, creativity, and initiative in their business and their profession, providing valuable service by contributing time and energy to their community, and assisting women in reaching their full leadership potential. At this time now, we'd like to recognize this year's selection committee. So when your name is called, please stand and be recognized so we can honor you today as well. Marion Ullman, Lori Althouse, Mary Falls, Debbie Gardner, Linda Gravette, Catherine Grube. Oh, you can cheer. Kelly Harrington, Linda Horn Grubbs, Crystal Hendrick, Sue LaChapelle, Amy Ostigny, Stephanie Owens, Cynthia Paidia, Kathy Rambo, Karen Renz, Adrienne Roach, Cindy Roy, Zainab Schwen, Litza Spanos, Chantel Thomas, and Judy Thompson. How about a round of applause for these ladies? You guys are so quiet today. So I'd now like to welcome and introduce to you Stephen Brown, our Managing Director and Senior Vice President of Stockyard Bank and Trust, Greater Cincinnati's Market.
I feel like a giant up here now. Good afternoon. Please join me in recognizing the members of our Athena Hall of Fame who are in attendance today. These accomplished women are all past finalists that you see in your program, and we are honored they are here to show their support. Please stand when your name is called. From the class of 2006, Marian Allman, Beth Gully, Dr. Chantel Thomas, from the class of 2007, Crystal Kendrick, Sue LaChapelle. From the class of 2008, Laura Carr, Vanessa Freitag, Karen Renz, Dr. Robin White. From the class of 2009, Linda Horn Grubbs and Kathy Rambo. From the class of 2010, Dr. Stephanie Owens and Cindy Roy. From the class of 2011, Debbie Gardner and Annie Ruth. And from the class of 2012, Barb Rento, Zainab Schwinn, Litsa Spanos, Elaine Cease, and Karen Muller. Thank you for being with us today to honor this year's Athena finalists.
All right, so without further ado, let's introduce to you and take a closer look at our 2013 Athena finalists. And our first 2013 finalist is Julie Bakke. After years of seeing people flounder when they lost their jobs, Julie started the Bakke Group 6 years ago to help people manage their lives at all stages of their career and life cycle. The firm works with men and women, but Julie is passionate about helping women take control of their lives. Using individual and group coaching, she helps women identify what they are good at and what they enjoy, not what they think they should be doing. Helping women discover their passions and connecting with them to other women inspired her to create Power Chicks, a networking group that meets once a quarter.
I think there are a lot of challenges, but the one that is most within our control is how we see ourselves. A lot of times the obstacles and barriers we see are right between our ears, and we need to get a real good understanding of what we rock at, what we're great at, and not be afraid to put our hand up when opportunities come along. There's a lot we can't control in the world, but one of the things we can control is how we show up in the world, and that is completely in our control. If there's an opportunity posted, and there are 10 requirements to apply, a woman will have 9 of them and say, darn it, and not apply. A man will see the same opportunity, have 3 of them, and high-five himself, apply, and get the job. So we need to put ourselves out there. What I tell young women is put your hand up and keep it up. You know, there's a lot of great causes out there, and a lot of people, you know, are looking for help and deserve help. But when you can say yes to something and show up with energy and enthusiasm and really align that with who you are, and for me it's women and homeless animals. When you can show up with energy and enthusiasm, say yes, but if not, just say no.
How about a warm welcome and congratulations to Julie Bakke. Come on up. Julie, are you out there? So come on up here to the front. We want to give you your award and take a picture with you. I thought I was being stood up for a minute. Our second finalist this afternoon is Janet Chambers. She was a month away from her 40th birthday, seeing her doctor for her yearly checkup, when he suggested that she have her very first mammogram. It was that mammogram that discovered she had breast cancer. And it was her battle and triumph with breast cancer that led to the creation of the I Have Wings Breast Cancer Foundation. Janet created the No One Goes Solo program. It sends care packages to women undergoing chemotherapy, mails inspirational cards, gives wigs and compression sleeves, and assists families with food, gas, financial assistance, and emotional care, and it's all here locally. Take a look.
My first advice is to get rid of the weeds. And when my husband and I bought our home, this was our dream home, and in the back of the yard there was these terrible destructive weeds that were growing out of control, and they were smothering the trees. And I compare that similar to cancer. They are destructive, and they just squeeze the life right out of you. Also, compare that to negativity. Compare that to negativity in your own life. So if you can get rid of the negativity, whether it's the company you keep, or the books you read, or the person you're married to, or the lifestyle that you lead, if you can get rid of the negativity, then you can create a healthier environment for yourself, mind, body, and soul. I love that I can empower women to live. And then when they always ask, what can I do? And I say, pay it forward.
Oh, please welcome Janet Chambers. Carol Silver Elliott has always been an achievement-oriented person. Her career trajectory is evidence of that. She began her career by working in marketing and public relations in hospitals, and now leads the Cedar Village Retirement Community as its president and CEO. Carol has implemented multiple programs that have captured the attention of people all around the country. Cedar Village's Shalom Center for Elder Abuse Prevention is the first and only elder abuse shelter in the Midwest, and the national media wrote stories on the community's trips to Israel, where female residents celebrated their bat mitzvahs for the very first time.
I think, unfortunately, that women continue to face the same kinds of obstacles they faced when I was at an earlier point in my career. I think that we live in a world where women are not supported in the opportunities to be both mothers and have careers. And I think that the world has not changed all that dramatically since my kids were little. I see the women that I work with today who struggle to juggle daycare and unrealistic hours and school schedules that don't accommodate working women. And I think we can have it all. I think it is possible to raise good kids, healthy kids with meaningful lives and also have a powerful career. But I do think the supports and systems are not in place to make that easy for us. Personally, I am very drawn to causes that really speak to those who are vulnerable. And by that I mean children and older adults. I have spent a lot of time and energy on our Shalom Center for Elder Abuse Prevention. It's the only elder abuse shelter in the Midwest, and it is vitally important to us and to our community because there are so many older adults, between 3.5 and 5 million older adults who are victims of abuse every year. And as older adults, they don't have a voice. They are not listened to. They're not always believed. We need to step up and speak up for these vulnerable populations. Those are the folks who can't speak for themselves that really touch me and are places where I want to commit my own time and energy.
I had no idea we had this right in our backyard. Please welcome Carol Silver Elliott. Our next Athena finalist, Crystal Faulkner, has accomplished many, many firsts. Being the first woman to be elected president of the Association of Corporate Growth in Cincinnati and the first woman to chair the Hamilton County Business Center are just some of her achievements. She is now a CPA with the designation of Master Analyst in Financial Forensics at her firm, Coney, Faulkner & Stevens. Her passion for helping people, along with her talent for accounting, led to the creation of her nonprofit, Accounting for Kids. Business professionals go into local schools, teaching them financial concepts while being positive role models at the same time.
I think one of the biggest challenges facing women today is just the ability to balance everything we have to do. We have full lives. We are wives, we're mothers, we're daughters, and we also want to have these amazing careers, which fortunately many of us are blessed to have. The key is, how do you balance that so that all of our life, in all aspects of our life, are happy and well balanced? And to me, the key in being successful in life, just in general, is to surround ourselves with very wise people. Don't be afraid to reach out. Create relationships with others who can really help you excel in everything you do. I think as leaders, it's our responsibility to really look in our hearts, find something that we're passionate about, and then take action to help find the solution. It's one thing to identify a problem, but even more important, it's how do we solve that problem? What are you passionate about? For me, it's financial education. We started accounting for kids 14 years ago when we started our CPA firm, Cooney, Faulkner, and Stevens. And the rationale there is, if we can help others at an early age, children, especially girls, be empowered to make choices, then you can change their lives forever.
Please welcome with us this afternoon, Crystal Faulkner. Growing up during the women's movement of the 60s and 70s greatly influenced Ruby Crawford Hemphill when she started her nursing career 35 years ago. She spent most of her career working in women's health. Her employers were able to see her passion, thus moving her to a manager position, first at Parma Community General Hospital in Cleveland, to assistant chief nursing officer at the Women's Health Center at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. Her passion for people and change led to being named the 2012 honoree for the Cincinnati Enquirer Women of the Year Award and a 2013 Cincinnati Business Career Healthcare Heroes Award winner. Please take a look. This is Ruby Crawford Hemphill.
I think women are often undercapitalized. We don't always have access to the resources, financial resources to start businesses and to be able to be truly successful in our financial careers. I believe that women, we somewhat lack financial literacy. We don't always trained and educated on how to manage resources, some of our financial resources, so I feel that having access to those abilities is very important. I want to devote my time to the charities that are going to be transformational, allow young women to have access to resources so that they can learn and get careers that's going to allow them to be able to make a great contribution to the world.
Congratulations, Ruby Crawford Hemphill. Our sixth Athena finalist today, Lynn Hography, began her career teaching sixth graders, but her enthusiasm for education and educating has moved to a new group, middle-aged women in the area of natural hormone balance. Her passion for women's health grew from her own battle with depleted hormone levels. So at the age of 49, she had an emergency hysterectomy, which caused her to learn about natural hormone balance. Lynn started speaking with women about their health while sharing her own story, transforming herself into a women's health advocate, if you will. In 2009, she opened the Happy Hormone Cottage, where women have access to free consultations, testing kits, and even a nurse practitioner for prescriptions.
My truth is that the women I talk with every day just need to be heard and validated, know that they do matter to somebody, and I encourage them to put themselves back on their own list every single day. Because if they take care of themselves, they can take care of themselves at work, their family, their job, and then everyone seems to be functioning at a better level. So without even thinking, get your hormone levels checked. Because progesterone is the first thing that you lose at about the age of 35, and it's all downhill from there. So if we can get your hormone levels checked the right way, which you'll find out at the Happy Hormone Cottage, we can get you up and running and keep you happy and healthy and a joy of life. And and great at the workforce and great in the bedroom and great with your family for years and years. So that's get your hormone levels checked without a doubt. I actually just began my own foundation called the Lynn Hography Women's Health Initiatives Foundation. And our biggest goal is to raise awareness and education of natural hormone balance. And also we're working with a company in Oregon that needs money for sensitive instruments to actually, they're very close to finding the genetic component that promotes breast cancer. If they can isolate that, we can find a way to prevent breast cancer. So I'm really excited about that opportunity. So I want to raise money to help this specific breast cancer research for prevention. Then I want to work with some holistic health healers in the prevention of cancer.
So we should leave our husbands, and it's all downhill after 35. Congratulations. Please welcome Lynn Hography. My husband's going to ban me from coming to these. Laura Cook Kroger worked in public relations for St. Luke Hospitals and the Health Alliance and owned her own public relations and marketing firm before becoming the Vice President of Resource Development and External Affairs for Gateway Community College. With Gateway, she is helping to create an urban campus that will allow people in the area to work towards moving out of poverty. In addition to purchasing and renovating buildings, she helped the school obtain millions of dollars in grants and gifts. She also has a great love of volunteerism that has led her to working with organizations for women, children, and our community.
There are still not enough women in the boardroom, and we got to do something about that. Another issue is the gender inequality that we still see. Women are still making less money than men, and we hope to do something about that. So, I'm hoping that as the Women's Initiative gets bigger and bigger in Northern Kentucky, that we can really address a lot of those issues that face women every day. I always say the same thing. Come early, dress appropriately, be eager to take on any task. If you can join a task force or a committee, do that, and do it with a smile and do it willingly. And if you do, you will rise to the top and you'll be asked to chair those committees and move forward. I grew up as the oldest of 4 kids with a single mother, and so I saw the issues that women face when they're single women. I see the issues that children face. So all my life I've either been really in higher education or healthcare and economic development. So I've been able to see how we can help women and children with basic issues. We were always one illness away from being homeless. We didn't have health insurance. We didn't have a lot of money, but we made it. And we made it because we stuck together and because there were women who mentored me early on and said, you can do this, you can be something, you could be a first-generation college student. And I was.
Congratulations. Please welcome Laura Cook Kroger. Athena finalist Beth Schneider-Naylor is the senior member of Frost Brown Todd's Products Liability Practice Group. She joined the law firm in 1989 and went on maternity leave twice within the next 3 years. At this time, it was common for women to drop out of 4 to 5 years after being hired. Beth was determined to work, though. She proposed her own alternative work schedule, which allowed her to work from home once a week. In 1993, she made partner while maintaining this schedule. In 1999, she founded the Frost Brown Todd's Women's Initiative to look at problems she faced while educating management on these issues.
When I started out in the 80s, there was a naivete to what we were trying to do, as we were kind of the first large group of women entering the workforce. We were going to do it all. Had no idea about the details of how we were going to do it all, but we just thought we were going to do it all. And I think this generation now has seen how hard it is and what the struggles are, and the very emotional tug between success in the workplace and taking care of things at home. Be careful what you wish for. In our profession, the private practice, the law firm structure is very, very traditional and regimented. And every young lawyer comes in and wants this path to partnership. And I said, really, why? Well, that's what we need to do to be successful. And there needs to be an analysis at some point in your career, after you've worked hard and proven yourself, as to what do you really want out of your career. And is there only one way to get there? What I like to tell young women and young men is sometimes you make your own path. Sometimes you have to get off the path to get to ultimately where you want to go. You don't have to follow all the structures that you see around you. And by creating your own path, sometimes you get there ahead of the game.
Congratulations, Beth Schneider-Naylor. Christy Nelson, the Senior Vice Provost of Academic Planning at the University of Cincinnati, is passionate about women working in higher education. But 15 years ago, she saw that few women were moving into UC leadership. To remedy this, Christy and UC created the UC Women's Institute for Leadership Development. The 6-month program taught negotiation, finance, and fundraising for higher education, as well as career planning. Through the use of internal mentoring programs, Christy was able to give women the knowledge base that they would need to advance their careers. With the success of this program, Christy began working to help women all over the state advance their careers in higher education with the Ohio Women's Network.
I think too many women are opting out of professional careers because they believe they have to have it all, or they believe they have to be a superwoman to have it all, when in fact there are numerous examples of women who have successful careers and a happy home life. I think we really need to do more on this whole work-life balance, and to encourage women to continue in their careers and to find ways where they can balance work and home life and be happy and successful in both. I do think it's important for women to work hard, to try to be successful at what they do, and to maintain a sense of humor and to not take themselves too seriously. You need to invest your time and your energy where your skill set is the best fit. For myself, I consider myself to be an educator and an administrator. I work in higher education. It's about transforming lives and making sure our students are learning and that they will be successful members of a community when they leave us. And so it's about matching your skill set where you can really make an impact in the community.
Please welcome Christy Nelson. Our next finalist is Cheryl Saylor. When Cheryl's daughter lost her battle with cervical cancer in 2011, one of her last wishes was that no other woman would needlessly suffer through the same disease. Cheryl and the rest of her family created the Jamie Jamison Foundation for Hope to help bring Jamie's dream to life. The organization's goal is to encourage women to make their own health a priority. Most cervical cancer could be eliminated completely through vaccinations and regular checkups, and so Cheryl now works to educate women on the value of these simple doctor's visits. While Cheryl is proud of the success of the foundation, its success at reaching people and saving them from what she experienced is what matters most.
For women, our jobs usually don't even start until after we leave work. We have to go every day till we fall into bed at night, trying to take care of our families, and it's just inner strength. It's strength in general. You have to be able to work your job, come home, and then your day begins. So no matter whether you go to work because you have to or because you choose to, you have to have this inner strength to be able to balance this whole thing out, or you have to have the physical strength to go from the time you get up till you go to bed at night. So to me, it's just strength. We are a nonprofit helping women to stay healthy so that they can take care of their families, to help them through tough times if they are diagnosed with a gynecological cancer. And you have to know that at the end of the day, because this is work, and I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how much work it is. And at the end of the day, you have to be able to look back and think, I invested all of my time and my energy into making a difference in someone's life.
Please welcome and a huge congratulations to Cheryl Saylor. Despite being in a male-dominated field, Janice Urbanek knew she wanted to be an engineer. A mechanical engineer by trade, she moved to the Cincinnati area in 1983 to work for Procter & Gamble. She worked there for 18 years before leaving for nonprofit work. It's with nonprofits that she has been able to use her own skills to help women find a possible career in the non-traditional fields like construction and manufacturing. As the executive director for Partners for a Competitive Workforce, she has been able to teach people, especially women, about what careers in manufacturing and construction can offer.
Some of the obstacles that women face in business today is that there are many open positions, open jobs in our region, but they're in industries that are not traditional for women to typically work in. So a lot of women don't even know what these jobs are. There's a lot of jobs in manufacturing, in construction, and IT, and because there aren't many women in those fields right now, women don't have role models. They're not aware that women can really work in those industries. So they don't really have access to these really good paying careers and jobs that can help them provide for their families. One of the things that I tell women all the time is to just be yourself. A lot of times there's a lot of pressure to fit into the corporate culture, but you're always the most effective when you're yourself. But you'll learn a lot of things through your life and through your career which will serve you very well professionally. But there's one skill that you really need to learn, and that is you need to really know how to fix your toilet, because that is a skill that you will use for the rest of your life. I find charitable causes that really speak to my passion. One cause that I'm very involved in is the Rosie's Girls program that's offered each year by the YWCA and the National Association of Women in Construction. It's a 3-week camp that teaches girls about careers in the construction industry, but it also is very much a self-empowerment experience. And so it gives girls the opportunity to learn about new careers and learn new skills and really get them excited about all the different things that they can do.
Please welcome Janice Urbanek. How about one more huge round of applause for our 2013 Athena finalists, inspiring us and teaching us so much today. I'd now like to welcome Adrienne Roach, partner at Keating, Muthing, and Kleekamp.
Okay, so as soon as I leave here, I'm going to do 2 things. 1, get my hormone levels checked. 2, learn how to fix a toilet. I'm keeping my husband, though, for now at least. On behalf of my partners and colleagues at Keating, Muthing, and Kleekamp, I'd like to thank Cincy Magazine and our fellow sponsors for hosting such a terrific event, recognizing the accomplishments of deserving women in the tri-state area. Women who, Laura would say, really stepped up. So keep it up, and thank you all for that. It's been my honor to serve on the Nomination Review Committee for the past 2 years. I can assure you that this community has a number of amazing women. Now, please welcome the 2012 ATHENA Award recipient, Zainab Schwen, to present the ATHENA Award to this year's recipient. Thank you.
Well, good evening. First, I would like to congratulate all the amazing women that were honored today. Give them a hand of applause again. As we heard from these women and about these women, they not only excel in their careers, but they make an incredible mark on our community each and every day by following their passion. In the past year, I have been very honored and fortunate to get to know many women who had been previously nominated as finalists for the ATHENA Awards or have won the ATHENA Awards. And these women truly inspired me. They inspire me with their stories, their dedication, and the work that they continue to do each and every day. I noticed one thing that is in common with all of them. They seem to all be driven not by fame and recognition. That is not in their vocabulary, really. That's not why they do it. They do it because they are passionate about serving others. They are passionate because they want to make a difference in somebody else's life. And that is truly inspiring. And so without delaying this too much longer, I would like to find out who the finalist is this year. And so with great honor that I present to you the 2013 ATHENA Award recipient, my dear friend Janice Urbanek.
Wow. I'm very, very humbled and very honored to even be nominated for this award, and I very much appreciate Zainab for doing that. I want to just thank everybody for coming here today and helping to recognize all of the wonderful contributions that all of the honorees and all of the finalists represent. I'm a part of a wonderful sorority of women who have done many good things in our community, and I'm honored with this. And thank you for being here today, and thank you for this award. Thank you.
Oh, Janice, congratulations. You know, as I was looking over our luncheon presentation for you today, it struck me how many of our finalists I've worked with. I've hosted benefits for them. We've featured on our news as women and leaders in our community. And so congratulations to all of our finalists for being nominated. And Janice, congratulations for you, our recipient here today. So this concludes our program. Thank you again for joining us. I hope for all of you, if this was your first time joining us for this luncheon, perhaps we'll see you back here next year, celebrating these amazing women for our 2013 Greater Cincinnati ATHENA Awards. If you would, be sure to pick up here on your way out the ATHENA feature. You are among the very first to be seeing it. So check those out as you're walking out. They'll be handing them to you. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. Hopefully I'll see you tonight at 11.